Welcome to the Masculine Code podcast. Hope everybody's doing amazing today. I'm your host, Jim Vance, and I'm glad to have you back. Today, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, something I've grown through, something I help men through all the time. It's the idea of leading at work, but are you leading at home? Today, I kind of want to cut straight to the core. I don't want to do any fluffy talk or no sugarcoating, because I want to unpack this thing. I think it's super important for men who are high performers. And there are a lot of us out there. And we are high performers at work because we think that's what our wives want or what our kids need. And we're going to unpack the difference between thriving at home or slowly watching everything slip away. Why you tell yourself it's fine, why you lie to yourself about what is and what isn't. But it's super important that you understand how your skill sets at work can be translated across to your relationship. But you just have to get to a place where you feel confident, certain, and convicted to do that. All right. You've built the business, right? You stack the wins. You provide like a motherfucker. You are like the plow horse of the century. You made the money. You drive the car. You live in the house. From the outside, it all looks fucking amazing. But inside, when you get home, your marriage, it feels cold. You feel distant as fuck. Your kids feel distant from you, like you have no relationship with them. They just go to the rooms or ignore you or disrespect you. You're kind of going through the motions at home and you know it. Like you show up having been so successful at work all day long, accomplishing all the shit. Then when you get home, a new version of you has to emerge because you're always not winning at home. So today I really want to dive deep into this disconnect, because being a high performing man at work doesn't mean you're showing up as a high performing man at home. And I work with men that want to be high performing everywhere in their life, in their health, their business, and their relationships, in their spiritual connection. And if you don't get this right, it's only a matter of time before the house that you're building, or the empire you're building, or the kingdom you're building, however you want to determine it, is going to crumble to the ground. All right. Success at work does not equal success at home. You've been conditioned to provide, which I hope you do provide. I hope you provide like a motherfucker. You're abundant as shit. That's part of the process. The skill sets it takes you to make you successful at work is not the skill sets you're translating to make you successful at home and create connection. At work, you're a machine. Like, you're focused as fuck. You're strategic. You're outcome driven. You are emotionally disconnected. You're probably pretty blunt and direct. You probably don't create a safe place for your employees to ask hard questions. And so you measure your success in targets hit, deals closed, profits made, whatever. Your wife and kids, they don't give a shit about the balance sheet. They really don't. They care about the money that comes in and the lifestyle that you provide. All that's beautiful. But they don't give a shit about your balance sheet. They don't need your money. They don't need your business wins. They don't need your business connections and network. They need you. They need your presence. They need your attention. They need your emotional engagement. They need your emotional vulnerability. Because at home, there are no KPIs, right? There are no quarterly reports. And if they did give you a quarterly report, you would fucking be flabbergasted by what you saw. There's no scoreboard. Connection isn't measured in metrics. It's felt in energy. And I know, like, a lot of times I hear guys like, well, I'm doing all the things and I'm showing up. Can't you just be grateful? Yeah, but your energy is telling her that you don't want to be there. Your energy is telling her you're only good away from the house. Your energy is telling her you're only productive away from the house. Your energy is telling her that she should be grateful because you give her money. So you're paying her for her gratitude. You're paying her for your respect. You're paying her for sex. You're paying her for all this shit. The reality is that's not going to suffice when you want deep connection and a powerful connection in relationship. Your wife doesn't care how hard you work today. Your kids don't care how hard you work today. She cares whether or not when you get home, are you emotionally available? Your kids don't care how much money you made this year. They want to know, are you present enough to notice them when they're struggling or when they're succeeding? Right? You got to get away from it being all about you and what you accomplish and what you succeed at and what you acquisition in your power. Relationships with other people has to be more than you involved. Because if it's just you involved, you're never going to connect with somebody else. You're only going to connect with yourself. You'll pat yourself on the fucking back all day. You'll validate yourself all day. You'll love the motherfucker you are, but nobody will love you back because you're not able to love them and be present for them. See, there's a hidden pattern here that's got you stuck. You've been conditioned to believe that providing is enough. That if you're making money and putting food on the table, you're doing your job as a man. And I mean, I think that's what a lot of feminists wanted. Like, you provide, shut your mouth, be a robot. And you see it modeled on media. You've seen it modeled in the news. I've seen it modeled in sitcoms forever. The man was only as good for the money he provided. And if he didn't provide money, then he was ostracized by his wife. There's another half of this equation. Provision without presence creates resentment. Let me say that again. Provision without presence creates resentment. Your wife doesn't need another vacation. Your wife doesn't need another expensive toy, a new pair of shoes. They need you to show up emotionally. But you've created such a robot out of yourself. It's easier for you to throw yourself into work than to face the emotional challenges at home. Because at work, you're in control. Like, you know the game, you know how to win. You don't have to have emotions involved. You just fucking task, accomplish. And at home, it gets messy because you're not dealing with tasks, you're dealing with people. And that's messy. That's vulnerable. That's emotional. That requires my presence and my connection. That requires me to be all in where I'm at. And for high performing men, that's terrifying because they have a hard time disconnecting work from home. So a lot of men escape when they get home from work. They escape into more work. They'll stay at home at the office late, or they'll come home and get in their home office late. They'll answer emails while sitting at the dinner table with their family. They'll drink when they get home, have a whiskey because I just need to take the edge off of the day. They'll use porn. They'll use Netflix. You'll see them escaping away from actual physical intimacy with their partner because they don't want to deal with the emotional expectation that comes with that. So they escape. Because leading at home requires you to face parts of you that doesn't touch, that work doesn't touch. That's why most men try to avoid it. Because they've conditioned themselves to believe, and this is where the pattern that got them stuck is, that they're only good at working. They're only good at doing. I'm here to fucking tell you, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. That programming has us all fucked up in society. It's ruined our families. It's ruined our relationships. It's ruined men from actually feeling like they're lovable. They're feeling like they're good enough. Like, men struggle with being good enough so much because the expectation is they're only good if they give you a certain amount of money. They're only good if they provide you with a certain level of life. And most men have a hard time living up to that standard, and it fucks them over mentally. And so I'm here as a teacher, coach, and mentor to help men understand that they're more than what they do. Is doing part of who they are? Yeah, they're a fucking man. That's what we do. We go and make shit happen. But we're also heavy into being loved, heavy into being respected, heavy in being appreciated and trusted and desired. But that requires a level of emotional intimacy that most of us have yet to break into. So how do you lead at home with the same power you lead at work? Well, you already have the discipline and know-how to lead. You already know how to execute. Now it's about redirecting the masculine drive toward your home life. I teach men this all the time. If you've learned the skill sets to be successful at business, you can learn the skill sets to be successful at home. There's not a huge deviation here. It's just a different energy and a different frame. The first part of this is you have to learn to create clear boundaries between home and work. When you're at work, be at work. When you're at home, be at home. Cut your fucking work off. I have to do this specifically. Me and my wife both run businesses. And if we don't cut our work off at a certain time every night, we don't get a chance to connect with our kids. We don't get a chance to connect with each other. We're both super driven. We're both super successful. But that being said, we have to give ourselves boundaries. Like, there's no negotiating this boundary. You have to separate home from work. Stop answering work calls at the dinner table. Stop bringing work stress into the household. Leave your fucking work at work. I remember when I used to teach, I told one of my student teachers this. He goes, "What's the most important lesson you learn?" I was like, when the bell rings, you leave work at work and you go home and be home. You're not being paid to work at home. Your family's not going to appreciate your disconnection from them. And he told me not too long ago that was probably the best lesson he ever learned going into teaching. It's the same way in corporate America. It's the same way if you're an entrepreneur. You have to learn to turn your business off. If your business is everything all the time, 24/7, then you can't have a relationship with anybody else. When you cross the threshold into your home, shift the gears. Be the same powerful focus man at home that you are at work, but channel that focus into your family. Be present as fuck. Like, when I say present, that means that you're just not there physically, but you're there mentally and emotionally. Look your wife dead in the eye sockets when you're talking to her, when she's talking to you. Put your fucking phone down when your kids are asking you shit and they're talking about their day. Put your phone on the fucking counter and talk. Connect. Be curious about their lives. Their lives flash by. I got 3 teenagers, and 2 of them I see 50-50. And I talk to them every day, morning and night. But I'm curious about their days. I'm curious about what's going on with them because I want to know them at a relational level, not just me telling them what to do as a dad. Because I want to know the humans I'm helping build. I want to know the humans they're trying to become. I want to know what they're trying to accomplish. And the only way that happens is I have to turn work off and turn my heart on. Right? So put your fucking phone down when you're talking to kids. Be curious about their world. Be curious about your wife. Question and listen to her. Be curious about and inquisitive about her day, what she's going through, what she's learning. I promise you, if you stop being inquisitive about your wife, she will outgrow you. You'll get that 7-year itch. 7 years, you'll be like, who the fuck am I married to anymore? I don't even know this one. But the reality is you never took time to actually know her. You didn't take time to learn what's going on, what she's happy about, what she's excited about, what she's sad about, what she's working on, what she's trying to strive toward, who's she becoming as a woman. The hard part of this is you have to be available when things get hard. And trust me, they get hard. Life be life. This idea that, if I make all the money, then my house is going to be perfectly fine. Fuck that. Like, you're going to have struggles at home. You're going to be struggling as a dad. You're going to be struggling as a husband. Like, relating is fucking difficult. Building a business is difficult. Building a relationship is difficult. Being a dad is difficult. You don't get to fucking turn it off. When your wife's emotional, when your kids get upset, when your kids don't, they failed at something or they didn't get it, they didn't achieve the goal they wanted to achieve. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to retreat from it. You just have to hold space for it. You just have to be the leader of them in those moments. Just like you do at work. Like, you don't fucking fall apart when shit don't go your way at work. You figure it out. You hold space for it. You learn from it and you grow. Same way at home. Number 3, I think, which is super important, you need to prioritize quality time with the same focus you give quality time to your work. Schedule date nights. This is so fucking important when you have a business, trust me, or when you're working in corporate America and you're being super successful. And me and my wife work all the time. We schedule date nights. We schedule date nights in, we schedule date nights out. We schedule conversations. Like every night we have a certain time we get in the hot tub and we have a 45-minute conversation. No phones, no interruptions, just me, her, raw and real. Put time on the calendar with your kids. Be involved in their lives. Make an effort to be a part of everything they got going on. Make an effort to do things with them individually if you got more than one kid. High performing men don't wing shit in business, so don't wing it at home. Plan. The masculine plans. The masculine executes on a plan. We don't wing it. We don't show up at home and say, I'll figure this out. No, we know exactly who we need to be and what we need to do and how we need to move. Lead at home with the same precision you lead at work. Build a plan, execute the plan, build a plan, execute the plan, and you will build conviction, consistency, and commitment to that process every day. And in that, you will build trust with your partner. Another thing you can do, another solution to this is drop the armor. Stop walking around like you're fucking Billy Badass. Stop walking around like you're some alpha male trying to hide your emotions from the world because you accomplish it at work. I'm a bad motherfucker. Okay, and when you get home, you're just another motherfucker. At work, you wear the mask of the boss. You wear the mask of the non-emotional. You wear the mask of the person who has it all together. And at home, your family doesn't need that mask. They need to see all of you. They need to feel all of you. They need to fucking be able to feel the power, the energy, the emotion, the rawness, the realness of you. Let your wife know when you're scared. Let your wife know when you're fearful. Let your wife know when you're sad. Let your wife know when you're frustrated. Let your kids see that you don't have it all together all the time. Let them into the part of you that you keep hidden from the world. Hiding your bullshit doesn't make you more powerful. It makes you more weak because you're lying to yourself and you're lying to the people. They can't see you. And when people can't see you, they can't feel you. When people can't feel you, they can't connect with you. Trust isn't built through perfection. It's built through vulnerability. Vulnerability is the acceptance of our imperfections. It's the acceptance of we know we don't have it all together, but we're working hard every day to get it together. And when you accept yourself at that level, you're willing to let other people see you as that. I always tell my guys when I work with them, like, hey, we all fuck it up. I'm a professional fuck up. I fuck up every day, but I learn every day. You live in a house with 3 teenagers. You live in a house with a powerful woman. 2 of my teenagers being girls, women, young women. So I have 3 women in my house. I'm a professional fuck up, I promise. But I'm always learning. I'm always getting to see myself. And I accept the fuck up in me. I accept the fact that I don't have it all together. I accept that I'm on this path to learn. I accept that I'm on this ever evolving ascension to a higher level of me. Like one of the principles I live by is like you have to live on purpose. And I define purpose as internal ascension that creates external abundance. So I'm on this internal ascension model every day. And the only way for that to be real is I have to expose myself to the world. I have to expose myself to my wife. I have to expose myself to my kids and be willing to understand that I'm not perfect, but I'm working to be better. And that's where your power leads and lives. Do you want to know what happens when you get this right? Like you want to know what happens when you fucking start to lead at home as much as you lead at work? Your wife will start to soften towards you. Intimacy will become more frequent. Connection will become more deep. You will want to be at home instead of escape from it. You'll put the bottle down and you will pick up a conversation with your kids. You'll pick up a conversation with your wife. You'll put your phone down and you'll snuggle on the couch with your wife at nighttime and talk. Your kids will lean into you instead of pulling away. They'll want to talk to you. They'll want to tell you the tea of their life. They'll want your advice. They'll want your guidance. They'll want your leadership. Your home will become a place where you are refueled instead of drained. Your home will become a place you want to go to instead of escape from. Why? Because when you lead at home with strength, vulnerability, and presence, you create safety for yourself, number one, and for your family, number two. And when your family feels safe, that's when connection happens. When your wife feels emotionally safe, she opens to you. When your kids feel emotionally safe, they trust you. And guess what happens next? That foundation of trust and connection becomes a fuel that drives an even greater success at work. Because if your relationship is fucked in the house, your relationship with your business will eventually be fucked. Because you will start to correlate. I'm doing all this at work, yet nobody's happy at home. Why the fuck am I doing this? So when you have your household moving in the direction of your business elevates because your house elevates. One leads the other. When you lead at home, you become unshakable everywhere else. So here's the challenge, my brothers. Here's something that I would love for you to do. Stop hiding in work. Start today. Stop hiding in your work. Stop pretending that providing equals leading. Providing just means you doing your fucking job. That's part of life. Start leading with presence and emotional connection. Like, be curious about your family. Be inquisitive. Want to know about them. Want to love them. Want to connect with them. Want to be a part of their life as much as you want them to respect, trust, and appreciate you. See, the business can fail. Money can disappear. But your family, your fucking family, your wife and your children, that's the empire that matters most. Lead it home first and watch everything fall into place. I promise you, it will change your life forever. All right, that's it for today, guys. If this hit home for you, make sure that you subscribe, share it with another, leave a review. I would love that. Also, if you're a man out there and you're wanting to do this work, like, hey, I see where I'm disconnected at home. I see where I'm super successful at work. I see that I know I'm off at home and I want to be super successful at home. Well, this is what I do full time. I work with men all around the world that want to connect their home life with their business life and then connect their body with all of that. And if this is something you want to do, I got 2 ways to work. Number one, I have a program coming out called Masculine Mastery. It's my foundational program. Everything I've learned and understood about growing myself into this man starts March the 25th. Click the link in the bio if you want to see it. And I have something called my one-on-one. It's the Conscious Man Ascension, where I transform your life for either 3, 6, or 12 months. I usually do a call to see where you are, where you want to be, and see if we can get you there. If you want to do that, fill out the application in the bio, and we'll set up a call. But I appreciate you guys listening. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.